let me say a few things about this audit, in part because I've been behind it from the beginning, and this is actually a follow-up to a request I made last spring with regard to nonprofit and money. I want to be very clear about what this audit is and what it isn't. This report, as I've indicated, is the second phase of a special request that I and the Audit and Finance Committee made in the spring of last year to make sure we understood our investment to serve vulnerable residents and whether the public dollars we're spending is having the positive impact we intended and we want. It is not an attack on nonprofit organizations or any specific nonprofit. As has been pointed out just this morning, Austin relies on many dedicated nonprofits and their dedicated employees who do difficult, compassionate work for people facing some of the hardest moments of their lives. This is an audit of the city's system for purchasing, monitoring, and assuring the delivery of essential services. And let's be candid, the findings are troubling. It appears we're not effectively meeting the goals that we set. You'll hear, and we're told, that 19 of the 25 sampled contracts missed at least one performance expectation. Almost half of the performance expectations reviewed weren't met. In many instances, performance was substantially below what the contracts required. Those numbers don't just represent boxes that were left unchecked on a report. They likely represent vulnerable Austinites who didn't receive services the city agreed to purchase for them. And we need to understand why. Some expectations may have been badly written. Some contracts may have been inadequately funded. Providers may have faced staffing problems, increased demand, reduced donations, or other circumstances outside their control. If the city created unrealistic requirements or failed to manage those agreements properly, the city must take responsibility and correct those failures. But none of those possibilities supports a system in which expectations can be missed repeatedly without consistent review, without corrective action, or without consequences. Good fiscal stewardship and strong social services are not competing goals. Financial accountability isn't in conflict with personal compassion. In fact, caring for our most vulnerable requires us to care about these services and to care about whether they're delivered. The focus should not be on protecting City Hall or protecting any particular organization. It should be on protecting the people these dollars were meant to serve. We should have clear and realistic performance expectations. We should have transparent and equitable selection processes. We should give providers a fair opportunity to explain problems and correct them. And when performance doesn't improve, we should be willing to redirect public money so that the promised services are actually provided. Progressive government should be accountable government. We can't and shouldn't measure compassion by how much money we appropriate and spend. We should measure it by whether we're doing what's necessary to assure people receive the help the money was intended to provide. So I appreciate everybody's concern, those that have been here today, but I want to be very clear about what it is we're doing. We want to serve vulnerable Austinites, and the best way for us to do that is by way of an audit that gets us to results, and then we as a city follow up appropriately. And with that, I'll turn to our city auditor.